good Friday morning. It is a feel-good summer Friday, and we add to that with two fun, exciting wins for the Mets and Yankees last night. And we've said over and over again this year that this Mets team is different, this Yankees team is different than the last couple of years. Well, last night was a prime example of both, especially with the adversity that the Mets were facing. As Tyler McGill has to leave the game, you get the Escobar news before the game. Then McGill leaves the game clearly with an injury to his arm. We find out later it's shoulder discomfort. And then Chasen Shreve comes in. You're down 4-1, but the Mets, they scratch, they claw back, and they end up winning the game. And then the Yankees sweep away the Rays. I mean, I don't know how many times they've swept away the Rays, either in Tampa or in the Bronx recently, but they just did it, and they continue to roll 31 games over 500. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning there, Gene. We also have an NBA champion.
That's right.
The Golden State Warriors win
Barely
on the Boston.
watched a lick of the NBA Finals, but yes, we have a new NBA champion.
We do. Now, the question is, what does this do to the legacy of Kevin Durant? And that will be discussed ad nauseum all day on ESPN. Anyway, last night, to me, again, another Brian Cashman. Let's wait. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what we can do. Let's trade Luke Voigt. Let's sign Rizzo at a reduced rate because we waited for him.
Yep.
And he comes through in a big way. Here's a guy with 16 home runs and 43 RBIs, oh, by the way. And, I know that his average is, you'd probably like to see it up around 250, 260. But, if Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo had numbers like this, I think fans would be off their backs.
Oh, my goodness.
But, at this point, you don't want to be on anybody's back. What I'd like to do is point out the really good things that are happening for the Yankees and some of the decisions that Brian Cashman has made that have turned out for him. And even yesterday with the pitching situation. It wasn't great. It wasn't a great situation for either team. I think did they both start with the openers?
Well, McGill was not an opener.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about for the Rays
and the Yankees.
Yeah, the Rays and the Yankees. Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I don't remember the Yankees. Maybe they've done this once or twice this year. I'm not really sure. But the fact that you can win a game like this, low scoring, not a lot of hits, and then one of your guys that was questioned as to whether or not he was coming back, or were you keeping Luke Voigt, or what are they doing here? What's going on? And it seems like, to me, that Anthony Rizzo, with 16 and 43, you cannot argue about that. You have to say that was another one of the Brian Cashman decisions where he could save a little money, bring a guy back that has the swing for Yankee Stadium. He plays a damn good first base. And again, it's part of the defensive metrics of the Yankees, and they keep talking about it. That's why I keep reiterating it for people who don't understand. Like how this team is really, really improved on the defensive side of the ball, and he's one of the reasons for that.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to fit in. I guess he's one of Aaron Judge's best friends in that clubhouse, too. They hit it off last year, which obviously is a good thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's, we talk so much about them upgrading. Whether it was Freddie Freeman or Olsen or what they were going to do, and they ended up settling. That's the word we were using at the time.
That was the word.
Settling for Rizzo and bringing him back. And he seems to just be the perfect fit. And then last night, obviously, he gets the RBI to tie it, and then the game-winning home run.
Yeah, I mean, so, again, it's another Brian Cashman. Hey, look, this team is going to go all the way to October. Now the question is are they going to get through October, and are they going to be waving another World Series banner? That's really what it comes down to. And I know that, and that's how the Yankee fans feel. That's how everybody on this radio station seems to feel. But along the way, you got to enjoy the ride. And there's going to be some frustrating parts to that ride. I think part of us as Met fans have probably felt that a little bit over the last 14 or 15 games. But now on the Met side of things, think about this. They have 28 games left before the All-Star break.
Okay.
I believe it's 28 games. And, right now.
27-1. Sign forward right now.
I know you would. So would I.
Yeah.
But in realistic terms, can they get the 60 wins in those 28 games, meaning they'd have to go 18-10. Yes, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's and again, like I try to look ahead. I know the manager doesn't do that. The players don't do that. We do that just simply to
because it's a long-ass season. What can you say?
Right, but people got to look forward to some things, and you try to meet your short-term goals so you can ultimately get to your long-term goal. And your long-term goal is to be playing for the National League, championship to make it to the World Series. I mean, that's what you want. So I'm thinking like in 28 games before the All-Star break, you get the Escobar news, you see what happens to Tyler and McGill last night. Okay, so can they get to 60 wins by the break? That I think to me would be a very it's attainable, I think, because of who they play and how they've been playing and how they've been winning, especially when they're at home. So I think that's an attainable goal, and I think that will also keep them with a comfortable lead in front of the Braves.
Sure.
Because eventually the Braves are going to slow down somewhere. They're not going to go on and win 30 in a row.
No, I mean, they've got that stretch with the Dodgers and the Giants coming up, so finally they're going to run into a little bit of a tougher schedule, and that's what we've been waiting to see. But, I mean, it's really about what the Mets are going to do. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, they still have a lead. They've still got a decent lead in the division. It's not 10.5 games, but it's still, enough. And it's about what they do. And last night was one of those games where I was like, man, maybe we do come in tomorrow as I'm watching McGill go out and saying, well, he's going to be out again for an extended period of time because you saw when he threw that pitch. And they said it right away on the broadcast. Gary, Keith, and Ron were just essentially like, I mean, he took a little off that, or is he hurt? Oh, he's hurt. And then, Shreve comes in. He's not able to stop the bleeding, and it's 4-1, and you got this Brewers team that's all of a sudden awake and ready to go, and I'm thinking they're going to lose another series.
Right.
Now you got 3 pitchers hurt again, and you're not able to win on a night that the Braves have off.
So one
but
thing.
They did.
They won. And the one thing I do like, is that, you have Guillorme going for third base, and I understand, you never want to make the last out at third base, especially when you're in the midst of a rally.
Yeah.
But the thing that kind of
scored the run, though.
I know. Which Jeff McNeil crossed the plate by the time he got tagged out.
Right.
It was close. It was very close.
It was close. Yeah.
And it's all the reason more why that it's a teaching moment for Buck Showalter to say, hey guys, listen to me. I love the aggressiveness. I love trying to get the extra base and all that other stuff. But if you understand where you are, then that's probably not what Luis Guillorme should not have done. But since he did it, the guy in front of him's got to make sure he runs through the plate and gets across that plate just in case that happens again. And so it's a teachable moment, but it didn't end up hurting the Mets. I mean, they probably could have scored maybe another couple runs had that not had happened. But the point is that what I love more than anything is just the hustle on the base paths that we're seeing from the Mets, whether it be stealing bases or tagging like Marte did the other night or trying to extend something and forcing. By the way, a right fielder who's got a great right arm.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was Ronnie or Keith said it last night. They obviously weren't looking at the scouting report because he's thrown 2 guys out now in back-to-back games.
Yeah, it was not a great throw, though.
But you know what? His feet were home. Yeah. His feet were headed home like he was going to come home. And you could see the Brewers' first baseman pointing to third.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just launched it with his feet facing one way.
You're still talking about the one where Guillorme got thrown out. Okay,
I thought that was a great throw.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the one at the catching him dead at the plate in the 9th inning, which was even crazier. But yeah, I know that was the Hunter Renfroe. How could you forget? I mean, it wasn't the scouting report. It happened the day before in the game.
But it was fun. But it's fun. It was kind of they were talking about it, and just in Gary, Keith, and Ronnie speak. They must have not looked at the scouting report or something. But then again, sometimes a player makes a play. And in this case, Hunter Renfroe made a great throw to third base. It's a little nitpicky thing for me, but it also gives you an example of hustle on the base path.
Yeah, and
they are trying to go and get extra bases anywhere they can.
Yeah, the Brewers got too aggressive in the 9th inning and then paid for it.
And then they paid for it, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that third base coach he knew he screwed up. I mean, he absolutely knew it. But then, Counsell, I heard after the game, too, was talking about, hey, did you see that terrible throw that was made to Alonso? I mean, both those things had to end up being perfect. It was a terrible throw by Plummer out there. It's just awful.
But you also remember, like, when we played the Royals in the World Series, they just wanted Lucas Duda to throw the ball. They wanted Daniel Murphy to throw the ball. They wanted them to, defense was not their strong suit.
No.
And ended up, really coming back to hurt the Mets. And obviously they lose the World Series, almost getting swept. But the point being is that you recognize weaknesses and you try to expose those weaknesses. I just think for the most part, the Mets and the Yankees defensively have been pretty damn good.
Oh,
They've been pretty damn good, and they've been smart on the base pass. They've been aggressive. And, I think that's a reflection of their managers. And both managers deserve credit. I don't care what anybody says. And, of course, both GMs deserve credit for where both of these teams are right now.
Yeah, of course. And not just the GM for the Mets, but also the owner. who has gone above and beyond in a couple of instances. And I know Lindor, ever since jamming his finger in the door, has not been great. But making big financial commitments to players like Lindor and like Max Scherzer, who hasn't been out there, but I mean, he's really changed the whole feel around the team with the commitment to the roster.
Yeah, I just kind of think like both teams right now got a good situation in the locker room. In the dugout, you could see a lot of guys pulling for each other, and that's what you want. I mean, Dom Smith is not here. He'll be back before too long. I know Miguel Andujar is not happy, but he'll be back before too long. Somebody will get hurt. Somebody will go down. He'll be the first guy called up most likely, and they'll have to get an opportunity to show that they belong, and maybe they are part of some sort of trade package or something. You never know what these teams are going to end up doing. All I know is I feel like there's a lot of pressure on both teams right now.
Yep.
To just keep this thing, the pedal to the metal, and keep it going. So that means the trade deadline it should be aggressive for both teams.
Now there was a little bit of a mystery, and why not? Let's speculate about this. Why not? A little bit of a mystery around Eduardo Escobar. So you hear after the game from Buck Showalter that it was a non-workplace event that the medical staff would determine whether he's going to come back or not.
Okay.
So what, I mean.
I don't know.
Is this another one of those things where because they got, like, everybody made jokes about the Lindor hotel room thing, and then, like, Steve Cohen had to make a joke on Twitter, they were probably like, all right, this is stupid. We probably should have never even said anything about this. That now something silly like that happened with Eduardo Escobar. Fell in the shower or something, or slipped on a banana peel or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think this is what you hope. You hope it is something silly and so ridiculous that you can laugh at it, as opposed to something stupid and that could involve something else. You know what I mean? Like I understand the Lindor thing. I totally understand it. Could happen. It happens to all of us. Jamming your finger in a door or something.
Yeah.
Especially a door that you're not used to using or whatever. That happens a lot. I don't know exactly what the injury is. I don't know exactly how he got the injury. I'm sure that the guys covering the team can't wait to talk to him.
Of course.
And hear an explanation. And I also think that the way that Buck kind of explained it puts it right back on the player's plate where he's going to have to answer the questions.
A non-workplace event. Does that mean he punched somebody in the face? Hurt his hand?
Could be anything.
Road rage incident?
It could be a myriad of things. You know that.
Yeah. Car accident?
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I know. Let's hope not.
I think if it were like a car accident or something, they would say it.
Yeah.
I think this is something that they're going to force Eduardo Escobar to explain. So usually that means to me that it's his responsibility. He did something that he shouldn't have been doing, and he's going to cost the team games. Now, how many games? We don't know.
Yeah.
So he is going to be the one to have to explain what happened to him.
Yeah, the non-workplace event thing opened up the possibilities for just absolutely everything.
Yeah, but that's the way. I mean, look, if I were the manager, I'd say the same thing. I'd say, look, man, it's a non-workplace injury. We were made aware of it before the game. We're not sure how long he's going to be out, and we'll keep obviously close tabs on him. He'll be in the dugout. He'll be in the locker room tomorrow for interviews.
Yeah, right.
Go interview him.
Oh, by the way, did you hear your shout-out yesterday?
My shout-out. I did not hear my shout-out. You got a shout-out
from Keith Hernandez.
I did. Well, thank you, Keith.
Yeah, for something that you didn't necessarily come up with, but something that happens on this show.
Okay.
Which was he's reading the lineups, and as he's reading the starting lineups, there's music underneath it. And he said, I really like the music underneath this when I'm reading the lineups. It reminds me of what Boomer does in the morning when he plays music under Wayne Randazzo's calls. That's what he said. And I said, yeah, that's what I was thinking to myself. It's all Boomer. Yeah, he hits the button and everything.
No, it's when Boomer and Friends did.
Yeah, Boomer and Friends. It reminds me of what Boomer and all the rest did.
Right, well
Boomer and his little buddies.
Boomer and his little buddies. But Keith knows it's you doing the Wayne Randazzo imitation.
Maybe. I don't know. He might think that's you, too.
Maybe he also thinks that it's Al Dukes doing all the drops like Al Dukes does.
Yeah, right, like he does.
Music and everything, so... Whatever, but I didn't hear that last night. I don't know why I didn't hear that. I would have reacted to it on Twitter.
Yeah, right, of course. It's like well, Boomer plays the music. Keith probably thinks you actually play the music, like you grab the instruments and the clarinet and actually play it. I mean,
he might.
That's probably what he's.
And
thinking.
then he's got an arm up your back and responsible for everything you say.
Right.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a couple of those cuts today. I can almost guarantee that.
Oh, sure, of course. All right, it is Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.